So yesterday I made tuna melts. So I got a couple of things left, like just like the lemon and stuff. So I wanted to make chowder. It's like a really simple seafood chowder. So like it's like a mix of like some fish, some like smoked fish, it's like smoked salmon, smoked cod, normal salmon. You can buy like a seafood mix in most stores, I think. Um, it's kind of after the Christmas break, kind of sick of like turkey and ham. You know, I still have some ham left, so I kind of want to eat some fish. It's cold out, day's really dark, like it's 3 p.m. and it is depressing outside already. So I literally have to use like the overhead light, but it's super simple. We're gonna start with some bacon. We're just gonna like dice up the bacon, pop it into, I think this is like a homemade pot. That's the brand. It's homemade. It's not like a Staub or a Le Creuset, if I pronounce that right. We're gonna pop in our potatoes kind of early on into it. We got our onion, celery, carrots for a base, our garlic, our lemon again. So we're gonna use the rest of the zest from the lemon that we would have used just for the tuna melt for making the mix. And then we got some white wine and some of the Dijon again to go in. And then we'll like use like chives and dill and stuff to season the rest of the stock and stuff. I got some veggie stock as well going. I didn't spend ages making it. It's just a general one you get in the store. If you want to make like your own fish stock and stuff for it, you can. But I didn't want to. Didn't have time. Especially with all the stuff going on of Christmas, I didn't really have time to make it. So I'm going to start with the bacon. I want to cut to when we're doing that. Just for quantities as well. It's only like four strips of bacon, but it's like American style bacon. Well, for us Irish people, if I use like rashers in Ireland, it's going to be kind of like thicker cut, like more like a Canadian like back bacon or Canadian ham or whatever you call it. But this is like fattier, so I'm going to get a bit more flavour out of it. And then we start with that, and then we don't have to add any oils. We just use the fats that come off this for the onions and the carrots and celery. And then we just pretty much build on that. We're going to leave all that in it. So there's a bit of body to it. Pretty much just like, the chowder is pretty much a soup. So a bit thicker though, because we're going to use our heavy cream. So yeah, we're going to pop this into the pot. The pot's going to be cold. I'm just going to wash my hands first before I start touching anything else. We started on cold just to render out some of the fat a bit better. Like let it rise by itself. I'll probably put it on like medium high, and then once that's rendering out and starting to cook, we're going to start prepping our veggies. Okay, so obviously swap out your chopping board, unless you want to wash the original one. You can just use like spray it down, clean it off. I'll probably just swap over because we got like one or two of those kind of like plasticky ones, which aren't the best. I need to invest in some rubber ones. It's the same as investing in knives. Just to have better quality equipment. It's super simple. All we need to do is make sure we have a peeler, knives, spatula to stir it all, and then our microplaner just for zesting the lemon. I'll probably use the juice at the end just for over top of the whole stock. But yeah, pretty much the same as everything else. Start with the onion, get that out of the way. Peeling it, cleaning it off, whatever. Also going to use a white onion instead. I don't like the flavour of red ones in with a lot of fish, to be honest. And then just pop it into your like, if you've got like a compost bin or whatever, just toss it that way. And like we're keeping the root, we're just kind of cleaning it up a bit, just so it doesn't make a mess in a minute. Now I'm going to use the full onion, and then it's just like 2 carrots, and then in Tesco I was able to get like mini, like pretty much just like prepped celery stalks, just to save me having to buy a full set of celery. I just didn't want to have it in the fridge because I'm not going to use it during the week because I'm going away for like a couple of days. So I'll probably have all this gone by tomorrow, realistically. So we're just gonna pop this into the compost bin, which needs to be emptied. There's still some more there. This shit's everywhere. And then we're just gonna put down the middle, down the sides. You don't need it to be super fine either, especially with chowder. You want a bit of substance to it, you know, a bit of thickness. I don't like that kind of bit, just for texture. So you're looking at like reasonably thick, nothing crazy. Okay, I'm probably gonna match it with the carrots and celery. But I want to skip through just for the video purpose. I want to just like not show the peeling of the carrots, because I'll probably peel it wrong and someone's going to give out to me in the comments, if at all. So carrots are peeled, and then we're just going to go right down the middle, and then we're going to put it into slightly smaller sticks again, put them together, and then we're just going to finely dice them. Or when I say finely, I'm not like doing like not too fine, I suppose. But small cubes like that. Also, please watch your fingers. Find a flatter edge on the carrots when you're cutting it as well, makes it way easier, so it's not going to roll off and cut your finger off. And like this portion as well, I think it's only for 2. Now I'll probably get like 3 or 4 servings out of it, but we're going to make sure that we don't go too overboard with it. So when I let that cook down more, make sure we get it nice and crispy, because I don't want it to be stringy and shit in there. I might put in some oil maybe, if needed, but I'll try and stay away from it ideally. Bit of butter, if anything, because I don't want the chowder itself to be oily and like have shit stuff floating on top of it. So, my last piece. And it does clean the floor, so that if I get stuff on the floors, I'm going to be really annoyed. If anything comes out of this channel as well, it's probably going to be that my floors will probably be clean all the time, because you can't have dirty floors or countertops. So it'll look absolutely shocking. But living in a shared accommodation setup doesn't make it easy. Like, still renting and stuff, so just make sure you can separate those if you want, but they're going to come apart once you start to cook them, because in case you don't go all the way through with your knife. So once you've that done, we're going to keep on top of the bacon. We don't want it to burn, but it is starting to get some crispy edges there. There's still a bit of fattiness, Probably could have kept it lower a bit longer, but none of it's sticking, which is nice. You don't mind that little bit of colour at the bottom and a bit more flavour, and it's going to come up once we add in our veggies. So, bit of colour at the bottom. I'm crazy. So I'm going to let that cook down a small bit longer before I take it out. I'm just going to pop it into like a little bowl, and then once that's in here, we put that there. We're going to pop in some butter, pop in our veggies, and then we'll start building everything else. The fish is going to go in last. So the fish gets added in because it's going to cook pretty quickly. You're looking at like about 7 or 8 minutes. And then it's pretty much ready to serve then. The longest part is going to be letting our potatoes boil down. Okay, so I want to cut back to that. Okay, so just while I was waiting for the bacon to finish, I just peeled the potatoes. I'm actually going to chop them up, like not like crazy. We chop. I actually want a bit of chunk. The potatoes, I'm just going to pop into like a bowl of cold water. But we're just going to empty out our bacon, and then we're going to pop in our veggies. These spatulas are really handy because they have that kind of curved edge on the inside, so you can actually use it to scoop stuff out, which is really nice. If I end up leaving some in there, I'm not too worried. I'm just going to reduce the heat a small bit, so I'm just going to take it off the heat for a second, just while I get my butter and stuff, and then I don't want it to burn. So once that's out, I'm going to set it to the side, and then we're going to use the same pot again. So just turn it off, turn it down. So I'm turning it down to like a 3 on the heat, so it's going to be like just like a medium low. I'm going to get our butter, I'm going to pop that in, we're going to start stirring it straight away, and then we're going to do our potatoes. So I'm not going crazy with the butter. Should be enough. Typical, huh? Okay, so there. Then get that mixed around, and then we're gonna pop in the rest of our veg. We're just gonna scoop it up. I'll get one of those like actual scoopers. I think the easiest way to play in life, for the last bits. Okay, so now I've got everything in, mix it around, and we're just gonna let this cook down and let everything soften. So it's gonna take probably about 10 minutes. Yeah, I want to keep it on that lower heat. Once all that sets down a bit, we're gonna deglaze it a small bit. So we're just gonna use the white wine, and then we'll let that reduce for a bit. And we're going to pop in, mix through our Dijon Mustard, our lemon zest, and our cream on the stock, of course. And then we're going to let that sit. Bring it to like a light simmer so it can thicken up a small bit. Pop in our potatoes, the potato starches and stuff will kind of thicken up the chowder a bit as well. And then pop in our fish, coming towards like the last 10 minutes, so we're probably looking at like an hour in total. Okay, so you're already starting to get like all that flavour off the bottom, starting to mix through. Okay, so I'm gonna pop a lid on this, then we're gonna chop up the potatoes. And we should be good. Just get the bowl and pop some water in here for the potatoes, and then let them sit for a bit, just so they don't get any discoloration on them. And always just a waiting game. So just in terms of size, like anything like that, it's perfect. So you're looking at half a thumb. also find it handy to use hands and stuff as guidelines instead of using weight. Not all the time, but I'm sure it should still be roughly like half them. So, and this last one, love it. See, that's what you need one of those like scraper things. Lots more again. And there's just gonna be enough water to cover it. And then salt wise and stuff, probably don't need a crazy amount of salt. Some leftover coffee there, have to strain it out. Okay, so I'm just gonna let that sit. And then we're gonna clean up the potatoes that fell. Okay, so after making a few mess ups, dropping some potatoes, losing them, having thrown them in the bin, just make sure you constantly stir, just so we're not getting any burnt bits. And it's not even constant, like every 2 minutes, probably more realistic. That way you can kind of get other bits and pieces that you need to get ready. I just like to have most of the stuff done beforehand. Like if I was just cooking this myself, I'd probably have all my stuff chopped and everything. I won't be just doing it on the fly. I'd have it all chopped ready to go, make it a bit faster. Okay, so once the onions have kind of gone a bit more translucent, then we can start on our garlic. So I'm actually just going to use the grater to finally grate it. So I'm going to peel these off, grate it in, and that way it just saves me a bit of time on dicing it, but it stays a bit finer in the soup instead of having bits of garlic just kind of floating around inside there. Which you can if you want, that's personal preference. I just want my garlic to be a bit finer in it. It's the same, once you're kind of done with it, then just kind of clean it off and use it again for your lemon zest. Okay, so I'm going to skip forward into grating it in. Okay, so we got about 4 garlic cloves. We'll use a spoon for the back in the microplaner. And we're just going to work it in and just make sure we keep stirring. And you should see all that like fond at the bottom after coming off. I don't want the garlic to hit right at the bottom of the pot, so we're gonna make sure we grate it onto all the food. Should get like a decent amount. I don't know what it is at the moment, but like in Tesco and like Aldi and Lidl and stuff, every time I go to buy garlic, the cloves are tiny. Obviously time of year dictates it a small bit as well. Ooh. This is painful. So you're getting these small cloves, so I have to use like 6 cloves normally, but one of these is absolutely massive and I've dropped it again. Burn my fingers off. So I could get like a small bit there left. And let's get off whatever doesn't fall in already. Okay, so we're gonna wash this just because of the lemon zest, and then we're gonna mix everything through and start building the actual main broth or soup. So just mixing it through. Garlic incorporated into that, it's just there, it smells really nice. You don't have to use garlic if you don't want to. Obviously some people don't like it. It's the same with like, you know, like onions, don't use onions. You use like shallots or something, but pretty much the same thing. So You can always like substitute things in or out, or just like remove them completely. It's the same when we're adding our fish later. You can pretty much add any fish you want to it. So if you like mussels and stuff, you can cook your mussels in the broth. You can add like prawns, things like that. I'm just keeping it super simple because the missus doesn't really eat fish, and I want to try and see if she'll actually eat this. So fingers crossed. Once we get this done, we're gonna go in with our wine. So these small bottles are super handy. I'm just using like a white wine. I think it's a Chardonnay. Yep. This won't focus. Nah, whatever. So we're just gonna like deglaze it a small bit. I'm gonna use half the bottle, so it's what? 187.5 mils. It's usually like a big glass. And we got about half a bottle there. We're gonna let that reduce a small bit. Cook out some of the alcohol in it. I drink, so I don't really mind. If you don't drink, you can find like a substitute. Usually you'll find like white wine stocks and stuff. So you could go like your veggie stock or your fish stock, and then just use a small bit of the white wine stocks in with it, if your store has it. But you don't have to. So we're gonna let this reduce down a small bit. Once that reduces down a small bit, we're gonna add in our Dijon and a small bit of lemon zest, and then we're going to pop in our stock and cream. Okay, so let this sweat down quite a bit. Just reduce down. So there's barely any wine left in it. You see a small bit bubbling away there, but nothing crazy. So now I want to go in with some of the mustard. It's a small bit. We're looking at like about a teaspoon. Again, just like general. About a teaspoon size. Maybe even a small bit more. Mix that through. Once that's in there, we're going to hit it with our zest. So I've already cleaned off our grater. I've used half the zest already, about a quarter, just on the tuna sandwiches that I made, which the video actually kind of messed up, so the video didn't even upload properly. The editing software fucked it up. So I want to curse just for that part because it annoyed me. Edited it, whatever way it edited it, didn't edit properly. Okay, so I'm just going to mix that through once we get that in. Let's cut because I wanted to throw that out in case. Okay, so that's all kind of mixed through now. I'll pop in our stock. Which is about 500 mils. We got a small bit of the stock pot left at the bottom. So make sure we mix that through, get everything kind of scrape off the bottom. I clean up a small bit then if you want. We're going to put in our cream first, and then so it's like just normal. It's like a 500 ml bottle. We're probably going to use like 250 mils cream, so about half. So it'll probably completely change colour. Well, you can strain it out. You don't need to keep all the veg in it, but health and all that. So I keep everything in there. I'm gonna pop in the potatoes, and then we're gonna let it sit for probably like 25-30 minutes. It should be enough to get the potatoes at least 4 tender. And then we're gonna pop in our fish. And then it's pretty much it. Small bit of dill mixed through, top it with some chives and our bacon. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it on that like medium-high heat, and then we're gonna pop in our potatoes. Okay, we're just gonna make sure we mix that through a bit, so they're not all sitting in one spot. You can stir it if you want. This pot's pretty big, so like the amount of potatoes I have, it should be evenly spaced. If it's more condensed, you'd probably want to rotate or give it a good stir a bit more frequently than I will. So I'll probably stir this every 5, just so there's nothing sticking to the bottom. But just to make sure your potatoes cook a bit more evenly, because there's a bit more heat coming from the bottom. You want to just mix it through, otherwise your potatoes that are sitting at the top are probably going to be a bit harder than the potatoes at the bottom. And you don't want any hard potatoes when you bite into them. So it's been about 20 minutes. I'm going to check the potatoes. If the potatoes are close to fork tender, so they're smaller. Yeah, okay, so they're pretty much falling apart, which is perfect. Or close to one, yeah. Then we're going to pop in our fish. So that fish mix again, you can put in whatever fish you want now. Obviously, if some things need a bit longer, pop them in and give it a good mix through. And we're going to chop up some dill while we're here and mix that in with it. So get that in. It's going to cool it down a small bit, so you want to let it get back to at least a simmer. So I'm going to pop a lid on. Let it get back to simmer, let it all cook. And then that should be absolutely delicious once you add in some dill. Okay, so lid's on. I'm going to leave it there for like five more minutes. Pop in the dill, mix that through, leave it for another 5 just to make sure the fish is cooked through, and then it should be good. The dill's pretty much the store bought, like I don't grow it or anything, so get it in Tesco or whatever. You can use the stems if you want. I'm not gonna. I think that's a chive. Use as much as you want if you like the taste. Go crazy. If you're not a fan, you don't have to add it in at all. Just dill and fish go really well together. I put it in the fridge, so I think like a lot of it's kind of feels like wet, which is kind of annoying. I'm just gonna chop it up a bit. Should be loads. As you can see, like the lighting and stuff, it's dark already, and it's just about 4 o'clock. Just after 4. Don't look at the time on the clock, because that's wrong. Okay, so I'm gonna pop my dill in, even though it's only been like a minute. Let everything get to know each other, I suppose, in there, or whatever people say. So it's not a crazy amount of dill, just enough. Adds a nice bit of colour as well. Already smells unbelievable. You could reduce this down more as well and like pop it in to some puff pastry, make some fish pies. And the base itself without like the fish, or like I suppose the dill as well. You could just pop in some broccoli, some cheddar cheese, and then you get like a broccoli potato cheddar soup. Pop some salt and pepper in closer to the end as well. Not like flaky salt or anything like that. So I'm just going to do a bit of a clean up. I want to chop the chives and then I want to plate it up. Okay, so we're just going to chop some chives and then I want to like slice some bread, because bread and butter just go unbelievable with chowder. I don't know what it is, but the chives and like any herbs you get in Ireland, obviously store bought, if they come in packages and you like open them, if you pop them in the fridge, just wilt super fast as well. But even if you leave them out, just everything dies. like so fast. And I know obviously it's probably a good sign because there's not as much preservatives and stuff on them or chemicals or anything like that. But like trying to chop wet or wilted chives, like they don't like have a crispness to them as much as you'd see in other places, which is painful. And like I'm not going to add in a crazy amount because I want it to be too acidic. But like, so just a small amount, like about like a pan. And then like you'll even see like the ends, like some of them are all wilted already. So like trying to use the good end is tough. Okay, so we're just gonna do some salt and pepper, mix that through, and then it's pretty much good to go. It's probably salty-ish already, because obviously it's fish, so you don't need a crazy amount. And same with pepper, I don't want to go overboard with pepper either. A couple of cracks, mix that through. Smells unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's almost like a yellowish colour. Can you see it? Not like super yellowy, but like it's not pure white either. So that's mixed. I'm gonna turn off the heat, and then we're gonna start plating it up. So one thing I wish I had was like a proper like soup ladle, but I don't. So we're just gonna have to make do with a smaller one. So I could be here for about 20 minutes. So once I finish filling it, I'm gonna show what it looks like, just like a close-up, I guess. So we just popped on some bacon slippers, just like the bacon from earlier, and then we're gonna sprinkle some chives on. Again, you don't have to do it, but it makes it look a bit better. I'm probably gonna need more bread in this, but you get the gist. So obviously things can be substituted, don't have to. Got some more chive on my hand, so sprinkle that up there. Bacon doesn't have to be there, chives doesn't have to be there, dill doesn't have to be there. The base of it without the fish can, or like even the potatoes, can be used for other soups. You can pop in broccoli, cheddar, you know what I mean? Even like sprinkle some bacon on a broccoli cheddar soup is unbelievable. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, subscribe, really appreciate it. Comment if there's anything else that you'd like to see, or just to give me ideas of things to make. I'll do like a close-up after this, just so you can see what it actually looks like up close. But thank you for watching. That's pretty much it. Camera quality isn't the best, but it is pretty nice.